Hola, clase. As you can see, I'm joining you from home today. So, just to let everybody know, I'm staying home because I have COVID. Uh, to let you know, uh, when I was at school, I had tested negative for COVID 3 times. So, I don't want you to just think that I was just, you know, coming up there and whatever, because I did. I took 3 different tests, including one in urgent care, and they all said negative. I'm recording this on Sunday, and it was this morning when it said positive. Now, the good news is I'm supposed to stay kind of isolated for 5 days, and by the time I see you, that will be 7 days. Okay, and I've never had a fever, and whenever I do come back, just so you know, which will hopefully be tomorrow, Tuesday, but whenever I do come back, I'll make sure to keep my distance from everyone and wear a mask. But again, I'm outside of the isolation time, so don't worry about that, and I'll be extra sure to keep my distance from everyone. Okay, so that's your update. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and get into today's lesson. Today, we are going to be learning about the alphabet and how to say the letters. Now, this video is for Spanish 1, 2, and 3, because in all 3 of those classes, we're going to go back over the basics, and it's very important to know what sounds the letters make as well as the letters themselves. Okay, all right, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, now the I'll just make sure we're recording. All right, we're good. Okay, so yesterday, or I should say on Friday, for Spanish 1, 2, and 3, we had some conversational things in our warm up. So just to kind of condense this all into one lesson, I'm gonna do just kind of a little brief conversational review here. And again, these are things you can pause the video, you can write them down, you can practice them. So let's just have a look here. All right, so the first one, and you can say it after me if you'd like, is hola. Hola. Hola in Spanish is hello, and as you can see, the H is silent. Next, we have adios. Adios. And nos vemos. Nos vemos. Adios means goodbye. Nos vemos is something that native speakers of Spanish will say a lot. It's kind of like how we say see ya. I'll see ya. Okay? So we got hola, adios, nos vemos. Next, we have the question, ¿Cómo estás? How are you? Forgive me, I'm a little bit congested. I'm really doing my best here for y'all. ¿Cómo estás? Muy bien. Muy mal. Bien. Mal. Más o menos. All right, and as you remember, ¿Cómo estás? How are you? And then we have bien or muy bien. I'm doing very well. Mal or muy mal. I'm doing very badly. And then we have más o menos, more or less. So. I'm okay. Next, we have ¿De dónde eres? ¿De dónde eres? Where are you from? And the person says, Soy de Augusta, soy de Cuba, soy de Panama. And finally, we have ¿Cómo te llamas? Asking what someone's name is. ¿Cómo te llamas? And the person responds, Me llamo Juan. Me llamo Susana. Okay, so just a little basic conversation for you. And again, this is not baby Spanish. This will get you further than you think. Okay. Okay. Now, today, let's look at the alphabet. Now, here's the alphabet in Spanish. And the thing about the Spanish alphabet is this. In English, we have 26 letters. In Spanish, they have 27. It's our same alphabet plus this letter here. This is called an ñ, and it makes the sound ñ, ñ. And you will see this word, and I'm sure you said it in the word jalapeno. Jalapeno. That's what the ñ goes ñ. Okay? Now, there are 3 things that have been removed officially from the Spanish alphabet. The first is the letter che. Now, many words still have these letters. It's just nowadays we see this. This is a C, and an H. It used to be considered one letter. This was a che, this was an eye, and this was an R. Okay? And we still use them, but again, this is not one letter. It's a C and an H. This nowadays is two L's, and this nowadays is just two R's next to each other. Okay? It's not a letter, the letter che. It's a C and an H. Okay? Now, I'm going to go through and tell you how to pronounce each one. Now, this is the name of the letter, kind of like in English, this is a W. This is an X. Okay? So this is the name of these letters. So this is, and you can say them with me if you'd like. A, B, C, Che, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, E, M, N, Ñ, O, P, Q. Now these are both pronounced exactly the same. This one is R, R, S, T, U, B, W, X, Y, Z. Okay, so the last ones take a little bit more time. So again, we have B, W, X, Y, Z. Now let me show you those last ones real quick. We'll get back to the assignment. Let's just go down here. Okay, so the V, you got your B, W, doble, B. So like we call it a W, in Spanish just a double V, which makes more sense if you look at how it's shaped. And then you have an X is X. Now the Y is Y. So the letter I is pronounced E, so that is an E, and the Y is an Y. It is a Greek I. Greek I. Y. Just so you know. Okay? Okay, now, what you could do, actually, I'm going to go ahead. So this is a song, and that's part of the reason we include these is because it does go with the song. Now, I can tell you from experience that music is an incredibly powerful way to remember information. Okay, if you have something to remember, it's much easier to learn a song than it is to learn a poem, for example, right? Because it has a rhythm, it has something to help you remember. So don't underestimate the power of music to help you learn. Okay, now this is the song. I'm going to play it one time through, and then we'll listen to it again in the future. But just for the video, we'll just do it once. Here it comes.
A, B, C, G, D, E, F, A. A, B, C, G, D, E, F, A. Hey, A, C, I, H, K. Hey, A, C, I, H, K. L, L, E, E, M, N, N, O, P, Q, R, R, S, T. Q, R, R, S, T. U, V, W, X. W, X, Y, Y, Z, Z. Yo sé el alfabeto. Ole!
Okay, now I'm going to go back to this because I want to stress the importance of how important this song is. Now, it seems like a silly song, it seems like a little baby song, but I can tell you from experience, I have people in college right now and beyond who still know their letters because they learned the song. Okay, like I said, don't think it's always some stupid little baby song. It's not. And I can tell you as an adult uh, that of course, there are situations where it's like you need to remember something in alphabetical order, and you sing the alphabet song, right? It's like you're trying to remember something. It's like A B C D E F G. Oh, okay. So trust me, if you learn the song, if you commit it to memory, if you take the time and remember it, I promise you, you will know it. Okay. And again, I'm sorry I'm not with you today to practice, but when I am, we'll practice that together. Okay. This is had to get back in the field here and join you to impress upon you how important that is. Okay. Now back to the lesson here. So what I want to do is one more time, I'm going to show you what each letter is called, and then you can study it, you can pause, you can think to yourself for a minute, and I'm going to spell you three words and see if you got it, okay? So listen carefully. Here we go. A, B, C, Ch, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, J, K, L, Y, M, N, Ñ, O, P, Q, R, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. A, B, C, Ch, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, Y, M, N, Ñ, O, P, Q, R, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Okay, now what we're going to do is I'm going to spell them. I'm going to spell three words, okay? And I want you to listen and write them down one letter at a time. All right, so make sure you have something to write with. All right, so here we go. First word. I'll spell it again. I'm going to spell it one letter at a time, okay? Number one. A, M. Actually, before I start, sorry. Okay, now we're going to get into this in a minute, but just for this purpose here. So, the vowels. A, E, O, U. So if you hear me say E, it's an I, okay? This letter is, so we have E, 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 okay? All right, so sorry about that. I'm going to start it over. So number one. All right, first word is A, M, I, H, O, S. And I'm going to do it one more time, a little bit more slowly. A, M, I, H, O, S. One more time. A, M, I, H, O, S. Here is the word I spelled. A, M, I, H, O, S. Now, especially if you got the G wrong, don't feel bad. Again, we just learned these moments ago, right? So the G is pronounced he, and the a J is a jota, jota. Okay? All right. So I got two more. Okay, next one. O, te, O, Inye. O. All right, that's a short one. One more time. O. Te. O. Inye. O. One last time. O. Te. O. Inye. O. O. Te. O. Inye. O. Sorry, I don't know how to type a capital N. All right. Otoño. Otoño. Okay, so this is ene, and this is inye. Ene, inye. Okay. All right. And again, if anyone's getting these incorrect, please do not be discouraged. It's all part of the learning process. It took me a good while to get comfortable with Spanish when I just started. My spelling was very rough. Okay, and the last one, number 3. All right. First letter. I'm going to change this one. Hold on one second. Okay. All right, first letter. Pe. E. R. R. O. Pe. And this is me starting it over. Pe. E. R. R. O. I'll say it one last time. Pe. E. R. R. O. And here it is. Pe. E. R. R. O. Perro. Okay? Which is dog. Friends, autumn, dog. All right. So, again, so that's the alphabet, and we're going to spend more time with that as well when I'm back with you. We have a little worksheet. We're going to practice again. We're just doing our best from home today. Now, so that takes care of what the letters are called, right? Like I said, words like X and W and things like that. Now, let me see how we're doing on time. Okay, good. Now, I'm going to go ahead and move along to how to pronounce things in Spanish. Okay, there's not a lot left. We're doing well. Okay, so pronunciation. So I'm going to kind of go through and show you what the letters sound like. Now, I can start by doing this. So here's what each one sounds like. Now, we're going to look at C and G. Those are the tricky ones. They have different sounds that they make, but everything else is pretty much just what it is. So here's what every sound goes. This goes A, B, K, or S, Ch, D, E, F. This can go H, or it can go G. An H makes no sound in Spanish at all. E, H, K, L, Y, M, N, Ñ, O, P, K, which you'll always see with the U. R, R, S, T, U, B, W, X, or H sometimes. Y and S, just like an S. Okay, that felt very awkward to just say those just out of context like that. Okay, so let's have a look at the PowerPoint here. Okay, now the good news for you, Spanish is what Spanish is called a phonetic language, which means it is always pronounced exactly the same. Okay, for example, in English, there are about 20 vowel sounds. Okay, like A, for example, we have a hard A, like in the word breaks. We have a soft A, like in the word almond. And we have another A, like in the word apple. So an A in English, for example, can go A, it can go ah, or it can go ah. So that's just one small example. But the good news is in Spanish, an A will only go ah. Even in a word like this one from earlier, otoño. So like in English, you can have a soft A, like October, or you can have a hard O. Did I say A? You can have a hard O, like in the word broken. O, ah. But in Spanish, whatever O you have is only going to go O. So we have otoño, otoño. Okay, so like the October in Spanish is octubre. It's not octubre, it's octubre because O only goes O. Okay, so a, e, o, u. The vowels are all over. In most every word, you're going to see a vowel. Even in the word vowel, you have two. So you want to make sure to get these right every time. A, e, o, u. A, e, o, u. They will always and only make these sounds, which is good news for you. It's less to remember. A, e, o, u. So hopefully after this lesson and after we practice together, you will be able to look at a word you've never seen before and say it exactly right. Okay? All right. So in Spanish, B and V are pretty much identical in sound. It's a very soft and small B sound. Now, there are some countries that do have a V, like vaso, but it's definitely more common to say all of these like a B. Okay? So, repeat after me. Baño, bella, boca. So that's a pretty hard B, right? Boca, bella, baño. That's fine. Now, when you say this word, don't say baso. It's not baso. It's not vaso. Say it like a little B, like me. Oh, just let me get some water. All right, this is pronounced baso, vinagre, vender. Baso, vinagre, vender. Baso. Okay. Now the C and the G, you don't have to write all this down. I will give you this on a worksheet. The C and the G are tricky because they change according to what vowel is right next to it. Okay? So here we go. CA goes ka, as in casa. CE goes se, as in cero. CI goes si, as in circo. CO goes co, as in coco. CU goes cu, as in cubo. So we have casa, cero, circo, coco, cubo. Ka, se, si, koku. And again, please don't be overwhelmed. We're going to spend time with this and make sure that you get it. Over here on the G side, a GA goes ga, as in gato. A GE goes he, as in Jerónimo. GI goes he, as in gimnasio. GO goes go, as in goal. And a GU goes gu, as in gusta. Okay, so sorry, I'm sick. So we have ga, he, gogu. Ka, sesi, koku. And again, this all comes to practice. You'll be fine. Now H, here's a big one. Never, never, never pronounce an H in Spanish. Okay? If you see it, know it's there, but you don't pronounce it. So this word is, and again, you can say after me if you'd like. Hola, helado, almohada. the most that you will say an H, you don't actually say it. It's kind of like a little puff of air that carries along the word to kind of help stretch it out, okay, with this one. So again, you have hola, helado, almohada. It just kind of injects a bit of air, I would say. Okay? Now the J makes a h, like an H. A J is kind of like the Spanish version of our H. So this is pronounced Julio, jalapeno, jota. Julio, jalapeno, jota. So there you go. Now, K and W in Spanish. K and W are very rare in Spanish. These sounds are usually made by other letters, okay? For example, a K in Spanish many times is used as CU, like in the word, a QU, like in the word quien, and a W is usually done with a GU, like the sound a dog makes, which is wow, 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 wow. Okay? And a lot of times these will be words that are either mathematical, like kilometro, or words from other languages such as waffle. Okay? So you can say after me if you like. Kilometro, kilograma, kayak. Waffle, watt, webcam. Okay, now this is a big one. L in Spanish is like an L in English. It goes L. Two L's make a Y sound. Okay? So here we go. Here is this word. León, lavar. And here's two L's. When you see two L's, think of it as a Y. So this is llegar, llamar. Llegar, llamar. Okay, now an N is just like an English N. It goes N, and an Nye goes Nya. Okay? So here's regular N's. All right, that was the last of my water. Let's see if we can get through. All right, so here's regular N's. Nena, nombre. And then remember, when you see an N, you go Nya. So this is baño, cariño. So if this was a regular N, it'd be bano, but now it goes baño, Nya, cariño. Like English, Q will always be followed by a U. So a QU goes K. All right, so say after me. Quiero, que, quien. Quiero, que, quien. K. Okay, now the R. If an R is the first letter in a word, it makes a double R sound, okay? So this is not regalo, it is regalo. You don't have to go too crazy. You don't have to say regalo, but give it a little bit of a flutter, all right, if you can. Regalo, roto. Regalo, roto. Now, I always get the question, what happens if I can't roll my R's? Will people understand what I'm saying? Yes. Okay, they'll know by the context. It's not that big of a deal for someone to understand you. I met someone recently from Puerto Rico, and she said that her sister actually had to go to speech therapy because she couldn't roll her R's. So that was interesting. But yes, so you can get by with that. If you have to say regalo and roto, someone will understand what you're saying. Okay? Always keep that in mind. But try, if you can, try. Regalo roto. Otherwise, an R, it just makes a small kind of a D sound. Okay? Now, this is important if you want to work on your pronunciation. In Spanish, there is not that hard R. Like, for example, this word in the middle, this is not para, it is para. This is not madre, it is madre. It's not lugar, it is lugar. Now this comes with practice. It doesn't, always happen overnight. Some people can, but it doesn't always happen overnight to be able to say lugar para madre like I do or like how a native speaker would say it. But it is good to try. What you're saying is more important than how you're saying it. So don't get over involved with trying to pronounce every little thing correctly right off the bat. But we are going to make our best attempt, okay? X has the same sound as it does in English for most words, like éxito or excelente. It can also have the same sound as a J and go h in words like Mexico, Texas, especially if a word is very old. Like, for example, many times we would write the name Alejandro like this, Alexander, Alejandro, but you could also Alejandro. And I believe that's an older spelling. So it used to go, it used to be more common to go ha. Mexico, Texas. Y is the same thing as English. Yerba, yarda, yak. And then a Z is just like an S. So it's not zapato. Say it like an S. Zapato, azul, seta. Zapato, azul, seta. Okay? Now, the last thing to show you today, and I'm just going to kind of introduce this because I will explore this more when I get back, but here it is. Okay? Let me check on how we're doing with time. Okay, good. All right, so the stress of a word. The stress of a word naturally falls on the next to last syllable. We call this the penultimate syllable if you'd like to learn a new word. Okay, so for example, listen to how the word kind of rises up on the next to last syllable. Calculadora, perro, escuela. Okay, now here it is just reading it regular. Calculadora, perro, escuela. Calculadora, perro, escuela. So you see, it's the next to last that gets that stress. Calculadora, perro, escuela. If the word does not end with a vowel, the letter N or the letter S, then the stress falls on the last syllable. So if it doesn't end with a vowel, the letter N or S, then the stress falls on the last syllable. For example, profesor, español, estoy. Okay, so none of these end with those things. And you can move, well, not just anybody, but the stress of the word can be moved with an accent mark. If there's an accent mark above a vowel, it's kind of like a little nail that holds the stress of that word right where you put it. Okay? This word could be a mile long. If there's an accent mark, that's where you're going to pronounce that the stress. Okay? So for example, in this word lápiz, or this one, instantáneo, último, it holds it there. Okay, you don't have to worry about the other rules. It's an exception. So an accent mark makes that letter louder. It puts the stress on that letter, and there you go. It accents, right? So it's called an accent mark. Or in Spanish, we call an accent mark a tilde. 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 Okay, now I'm going to do one quick thing, and then I'm going to give you a short assignment. Okay, now I'm going to say 3 words out loud, and you write them down. Okay? And we're going to go here. All right, number 1. Okay? Again, I'm just going to say the whole word. I'm just going to say the whole word, and you write. I'm not spelling this time. All right? First word is Caribe. 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 Here is the word. Caribe. That's what they call the Caribbean in Spanish. All right, next one. Gorra. 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 Go ra. Go ra. Go ra. Gorra. Okay? And finally, and listen very close to this one. It's not a trick, but listen closely. Beberá. Beberá. Be, be, ra. And here's how it would sound normally. Beberá. Be, be, ra. And here it is. Beberá. That one has an accent mark, so it goes all the way at the end. Beberá. Okay? Now, the last thing for today is I'm going to leave you with a small assignment. And let me see what the time is here. Well, I have time. I wanted to share a little poem with you, and this is really pretty. And then I'll give you your assignment, just so you can hear some Spanish pronounced here. And again, I'll get some videos and things of native speakers talking, but this is my favorite, one of my favorite. I have two, but this is one of my favorite poems in Spanish. And this is by this really very interesting lady named Gabriela Mistral. And this poem is called Meciendo, which means rocking, like the motion of something rocking back and forth. Okay? So here you see a lot of the things we just talked about. We have this little R. We have a double L, which is make a Y. Okay? So let me read this for you. It goes like this. El mar, sus millares de olas, mece divino. Oyendo a los mares amantes, meso a mi niño. El viento errabundo en la noche, mece los trigos. Oyendo a los vientos amantes, meso a mi niño. Dios Padre sus miles de mundos, mece sin ruido. Sintiendo su mano en la sombra, meso a mi niño. And it's really pretty. It's kind of it has this whole kind of like rocking back and forth motion. Here's what it says if you're wondering. The sea, its thousands of waves, he rocks divine. Hearing the loving seas, I rock my child. The wandering wind in the night rocks the wheat. Hearing the loving winds, I rock my child. Father God, his millions of worlds, he rocks without sound. Feeling his hand in the darkness, I rock my child. So it's, her way of expressing, her rocking her child and God rocking the world and things like that. So just kind of pretty. Okay, now the last thing is your assignment. It's a short assignment and one that hopefully I'll be able to have time to talk to each other. All right, so the assignment is using wordreference.com, which is a very good online dictionary. Look up how to say 3 words in Spanish. Then write it down, and I want you to spell your word to your partner one letter at a time, just like I did with you. Finally, share what each word means with your partner, and you'll work together to pronounce them correctly. Okay? So this is what wordreference.com looks like. And we're going to go English to Spanish. So let's say I want to know how to say octopus in Spanish. So you look it up, and it says octopus, noun, animal, pulpo. Okay? So you would spell the word P-U-L-P-O. Okay? So look up any 3 words you want to. Look up how to say them in Spanish. Write them down. Spell them to your partner. Tell your partner what it means, and then see if you can pronounce it. So you show them the word, and it's like, oh, this is pulpo. Okay. All right, y'all. So get back to me here. So that is today's lesson. Like I said, that assignment is not something to turn in. It's just to give you something to learn a new word, practice saying it, practice spelling it, and hopefully I will be back at school with you tomorrow, and we will pick it up from there. All right, I'll see you then. Adios.